Welcome back, everyone. We are getting ready to jump into these next 4 drawings, and then don't forget your challenge drawing. Of course, I don't show a video for your challenge drawing. I'll let you guys figure that out. But you should be able to do it with the skills that you get from these 4 drawings here. Now, the first one's the angle slider. I'll draw it, and it's going to be in millimeters. So again, start 2D sketch. We are going to be an XY plane, and again, we're going to use those Boolean operations to do this. And again, remember your unions and your subtractions. So on this one, the best method I can tell you to do when I'm looking at it, I want to do this. I want to do me a rectangle. I want to cut this side out first, okay? And to do that, start right here, and the width of it's 250, so I type in 250, tab, and the height of it is 120. So I'm just building this rectangle here. I'll back up to see all that. So I'm looking at a profile side shot of it here, and it's got a little cutout right here. I could go ahead and put that in there, and I'll show you. I just use another rectangle. Or we could have used the subtraction to cut that out. It doesn't matter. You could do it either or. But I'm just going to go ahead. While I'm in here, it's 20 over, tab, and it's 30 up, and it's 35 from the bottom, so I'll dimension that. So you can actually get the shape like you did the first module, the first lesson we did. And boom, boom, boom. It's 35 up, 20 over, 30, and 120. All right, all that looks good. I'll trim out the stuff that I do not need. It had 2 of them in there. Actually, you need to delete that one out separately, like escape, click, delete. So that should be like that. And there's a couple ways to do these things. We'll just use the Boolean method. Let's see here. Yeah, I was going to say we could just put an angle down through here, and let's do that. Let's make it a little easier on ourselves. Put this angle down through here and like that. Dimension from the top down to here is 30. Boy, it's pretty close, wasn't we? And it's coming over 90. So dimension, you catch that point? See that little point? Catch that point? That should be 90. And then we'll trim out what we don't need. And you kind of see what I'm talking about here in just a second. Undo that. What's catching is this right here. I need to get rid of that dimension for the time being. And trim. And what it is I've got this dimension right there. It's kind of constraining it with that dimension. Sometimes you'll have to delete them out, and you could put them back in if you wanted to use them for constraints, just like that. You could do that. And then you can also do this if you wanted to hold it for a constraint. But we're deleting those and trimming those lines that we were dimensioning off of, and it didn't like it. So I've got the side profile done. I really didn't use the Boolean method, but the Boolean method, if I can get that pronounced right. And now I want to extrude this thing 175. 175. Now let's use that method a little bit more. So we've got the side of it. Now there is a taper on this side, and this is where I want to start using that method of subtraction. Start 2D. I want to, right here on the top, it turns around, I want to cut this angle out of it, this 30-degree angle. And this is how I go about doing it. I would just come up here. I'm starting somewhere in that neighborhood there. It doesn't matter out through here. It doesn't really matter. I'm just made me a big triangle there. And now I'll go in and use my dimensions to get it right, because you can see it's 75 millimeters where it starts from the back here to that. And I'm a little off. So 75, and then we'll do a dimension from here to here, which should be 30. And that's it. You're like, what? What do you mean that's it? I just need an enclosed area so that I can do an extrusion to cut that out. So now I'll extrude this, You all see what I'm saying? When it goes up, you see it's green, it's wanting to join, but when I do a cut, it automatically turn it, and you see that reddish look. It's telling you that's cutting, and I'm going all the way through. Now you got different things that you can put on here. The distance through all to, there's a distance on it right now of 175 millimeters. If I just do through all, it'll cut through all of it. It doesn't matter. I just use the subtraction part of that. Instead of the union, I use the subtraction and cut. So we're using those methods. The back side's flat. It's got a hole in it up here. You guys shouldn't be any problem with that. Start you a sketch up here. Put you a circle in it. And it is 20 diameter. So all I got to do is just locate it. And it's 40 from that back edge. And it looks to me like it's 25 from this edge. And all you have to do, that's it. Finish your sketch out. Extrude, get that hole right there. And again, I want to cut it. And I could also turn it and pull it down and just do a through all. And you can see it's red. Okay. If you want to take a look at it and make sure you got the hole all the way through. Yep, we're good. The last thing you want to do here is, I'm just going to cut this out. And there's different ways I can do this. I can cut it from the top down. I can turn it sideways and put my rectangle in here. It really doesn't matter. There's just so many different ways you can choose. So I'm just going to put me a big rectangle in here and then dimension it. All right. So this is 75 millimeters wide. So let's go ahead and knock that out. And 25 millimeters deep. So all I have to do is go from there to there. 25 millimeters from the top. And it's 50 millimeters from one of the sides. It's not wanting to let me do that. All right, let's see what we've got. We'll over-constrain the sketch. Sometimes you get those types of things. And what it is, it's locked onto that. You all see that? Let's see what we can do here. So when that happens to you, I want to see all of my constraints. Show constraints. And I'm thinking it might be linked to this little guy right here. Yep. So what I got to do sometimes if that comes up, I want to delete these constraints. I just right-clicked on it. Y'all see that? Right-click right there on that. Delete. There shouldn't be any more constraints on that. Most of the time you show all constraints, I come down here and click. I think it was tied right to that. But if it does that, that's one method you can do, and you see now that you're able to use it. Sometimes you get constraints and it automatically will constrain things. If it does that, that's a method, or sometimes it's easier just to delete what you've drawn and put it back in. However, either way works, but that right there shows you a really quick and easy way of doing that. Okay, so 50. I move it over and it's still tied there, so I'm going to trim that out. We don't need that. So looks pretty good right there. And let's make sure that, so if it's 175 minus 75 would make, yep, and each side was symmetrical at 50. So I just make sure I put it on the right side, but it doesn't matter. So now when I turn this thing around and I do an extrude, I grab both sides. I don't have to, I just grab that one. And I want to do a cut on it through all, and then okay. And And there is your part. There is the angle slider. If you have any questions on this one, let me know and I can help you.